Hello, this is Santosh Muruganandam. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Kolapasi chain of restaurants. We started in the year 2013. It's been 9 years. We've been running this chain of restaurants, and today we're across the globe, from Australia to Canada, and we have close to 15 plus restaurants. So the idea of Kolapasi came into my mind more than a decade ago. I was in the US and I did my master's there, and I worked there for a few years, and that's when I saw a big problem to be solved. Wherever I traveled in the US, I saw a lot of restaurants with the same name. Every city you go, you will see a McDonald's, you will see a Burger King, you will see a Domino's Pizza, you will see Papa John's, you will see Chipotle, but you will not see an Indian restaurant with the same name across all cities. And that was the seed for this brand called Kolapasi. I thought, okay, why Indian cuisine is not scalable? And that question, kept lingering in my mind for years. And I came back to India. I started my first business, which is in garments. And then after a couple of years, I thought, what if we can solve this problem of scaling Indian cuisine? And we found out the biggest impediment for Indian cuisine to grow is a person called chef or the master. We call it a master, or it is called chef across the world. Indian cuisine is a little bit more difficult to make compared to the Western cuisines. So it required a skilled person inside a restaurant, inside every restaurant. So I thought, okay, what if we can remove that person? What if we can build processes and systems which will help the Indian cuisine to scale across the world? And that was the seed. And today we have solved the problem, and that is why we're able to scale across the world. So that's how Kolapasi started. And we initially started, me and a couple of my friends, we started. We put in an investment close to 20-30 lakhs. We set up a centralized kitchen, and we opened one takeaway outlet. And then slowly we grew. Slowly we got in funds from our relatives, friends and family. And that's how we grew. Today, we have multiple models of starting a restaurant. I would say at least 3 models. First one is a cloud kitchen. It's the most easiest, and it requires very less investment. Probably you can start a cloud kitchen anywhere from around 5 to 10 lakhs. So cloud kitchen is nothing but it focuses purely on delivery. So you don't have to spend a lot on interiors, you don't have to spend a lot on signage and the board outside your restaurant. Probably you need around 200 to 400 square foot. So all put together, you can start a cloud kitchen today at around from 5 to 10 lakhs. So that's model number 1. So we have the next upgraded model. We have a delivery/takeaway outlet. Probably you can start one within 8 to 12 lakhs. You will have to spend a little bit on interiors. If you need a board, you need something, a small place, maybe around 400 to 500 square foot, out of which 200 to 300 square foot will be your kitchen. And there's a front space, probably 100 to 200 square foot, where people can come and they can, look at the menu, and they can order, and they can pick up the food, and they would go. So this is the second model. And the third model is a full-fledged restaurant. Restaurants could cost from anywhere from 20 lakhs to 1 crore. So I'm talking about a quick dine-in restaurant. Per se, around 800 to 1000 square foot, which consists 300 to 400 square foot of kitchen space and remaining 500 to 600 square foot of the dining space. You can put in probably around 5 to 7 tables, which could seat around 25 to 30 people in a restaurant. So a typical restaurant would cost around 20 lakhs minimum, and it can go all up to 1 crore depending upon which area, like which location you're putting the restaurant. Probably in a city like Bangalore, Mumbai or Chennai, it will go up to 50-60 lakhs. Probably in a B town or a C town, you can put all this together within 20 lakhs. So these are the 3 models that you can start. And the most important problem in running a restaurant is handling the chef, handling the person who controls the kitchen. And according to numbers, 90 to 95% of restaurants which have started, they shut down the first year because of problems like this. And the consistency is a big problem, right? When one chef is making a dish with a certain taste, right? And the moment that person leaves out of your restaurant, you'll have to find somebody else, and the second person has to come and match up the same standards as what the first person has done it. So that becomes a big problem. That is the number one problem which is faced by all restaurateurs. And that is a problem we solved in Kolapasi, and that is why we are able to scale. The second problem in running a restaurant is working. So we solved it through proper systems and processes. We studied all the Western models, how McDonald's, Subway is able to standardize and able to operate without a chef or master. We studied the model, and it took us 5-6 years to re-engineer, and today we have solved it. We have outlets in Canada and in Australia, and we have not sent any chefs or masters from India. We were able to do that. And today our model is so easy that even an 8th standard graduate can come in, can cook, and you will get the same taste across the world. The second problem, the biggest problem in running a restaurant is working capital. And 95% of the people who are entering the restaurant industry, they don't understand this concept called working capital. They're very excited. I was also excited. Oh, I'm starting a restaurant. And we forget to plan for the working capital. So what is working capital? I'll give you a small example. Let's assume you're starting a fancy store, right? Where you have to buy a lot of gift items and you have to keep it inside a store, and somebody will come and buy that. So first thing is you have to buy all those products and keep it as inventory inside your store. If you're not able to do that, how would somebody come in and buy something from your outlet? So for you to run a restaurant, you have to have a working capital. You have to buy vegetables, you have to buy meat, you have to buy in advance and keep it in your restaurant. Most of us, we don't plan for the working capital. You need to have some money to pay for your rentals, you have to pay your employees for the first 3 months. You have to have at least 3 to 6 months of working capital. An average restaurant would need at least 1.5 to 2 lakhs per month as working capital, a typical restaurant. A typical restaurant would need around 7 to 8 employees. If you add up all their salaries, it will come to probably close to 1.2 to 1.5 lakhs. And then your rentals, your electricity bills and your miscellaneous will closely come up to 2 lakhs. In our model, since we are a smaller model, we only need around 80,000 to 1 lakh. But that's different. A typical restaurant will need 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs. So I would suggest, if you do not have 6 months of working capital, I would strongly advise, do not get into the restaurant industry. A lot of people get stuck because of working capital. They underestimate how much is needed to start a restaurant. Let's say if it's 20 lakhs, let's say they might have 10 lakhs in hand, and they would borrow from friends, family another 5 lakhs, and then they put in all their money, and then they're stuck because they don't have money for the working capital. And that is why most of the restaurants fail. And for a restaurant to establish itself in that location, it will need at least 3 to 6 months. Let's assume you take a petrol bunk, right? You have to be open, whatever, from the time you promise, let's say in the morning 6 to night 11 or 12, you have to be there consistently for somebody to notice, oh, there is a petrol bunk here, and when I'm short of petrol, I would go there and pump in petrol. So you have to be consistently available in a certain location at least for 3 to 6 months for people to notice you that you are in the location. So a lot of us, we want instant reward. We want to open a restaurant and bam, day one, we need everybody in that area to come and buy food from us. It's not going to happen. That's the reality check. And that is why a lot of people fail in the restaurant industry, because they miscalculate the entry into the industry. They do not have the working capital, and they do not have the patience to play the game. So what is this cloud kitchen? Everybody is asking the same question to me. Santosh, what is this cloud kitchen? Do you have a kitchen on the cloud? No, that's not cloud kitchen. So cloud kitchen is a shrinked up model of a real kitchen, right? For example, if you have a restaurant, there is a kitchen and there is a dine-in area. So in a cloud kitchen, there is no dine-in area. There is no space for people to come and order food and pick up food. There is only the kitchen, and you have your delivery partners who will come and pick up the orders from you. So for example, you're online, so you'll be available only online. Nobody knows where you are. That's why it's called cloud kitchen. For example, in Chennai, we were probably the first guys to start the cloud kitchen. In 2013, we've been running a cloud kitchen from a centralized kitchen. So the idea is to have a minimal setup, so you don't spend a lot of money on infrastructure. You have your basic setup, your stoves, your working tables, all the basic necessary things you need to run a kitchen. and you have an online place where people can come and order products. Either you're listed in Zomato, you Swiggy, or you can also have your own website where people can come and order food from your website. So basically there's only one channel of revenue, it's purely delivery. So the advantage of Cloud Kitchen is that you don't have to find a restaurant on a high street and pay very high rentals. You can go off the road, off the main road, and find a small place as less as 5,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees as a monthly rental. Also, the number of workers or the number of people who are going to work in your kitchen is very minimal because you do not have a front end. So you don't need to have a cashier, you don't have to have somebody in the front end talking to your customers, or there is no dine-in. So you need very limited number of resources to operate a kitchen. That's it. So the advantage of Cloud Kitchen model is your monthly operating expenses is very less. So what is an operating expense? What is a capital expense? What is an operating expense? Capital expense, it is done one time. I mean, that means you're setting up your restaurant, you're doing your interiors, that is your capital expense. Operating expense is something which you pay every month. So your operating expense is your rental and the salaries you pay for employees. So in a Cloud Kitchen, since your rental is very less because you're not on the main road and you're not taking 1,000 square feet, you're hardly taking 200 to 300 square foot. So your rentals is very less. Also, you only need probably 2 or 3 people to run your entire kitchen. So 3 people into maybe 15,000, so 45,000, another 5,000, so 50,000 rupees is your monthly expense. So the advantage is you have to do lesser revenue so you can break even. On an average, you have to do 2 to 2.5 times. That means if your expense is 50,000 rupees, you will have to do a revenue of 1.52 lakhs to 1.5 lakhs, and you can operationally break even. That means you're not losing money on every transaction. So that is why Cloud Kitchens are becoming popular, because you can test a model with very less amount. You don't have to spend 1 crore, do a dine-in, and then realize that, oh, this place does not have that potential. So people do small Cloud Kitchens, and if it works out well, then they can shift to a takeaway, or they can shift to a dine-in in the same location. So how do you raise investments for a restaurant? And the best place to raise investment for restaurants is your friends, family, because you do not have a proven successful model for somebody else to come and invest in your business. So the way I did it, I asked my mom, I asked my father-in-law, I asked a couple of my friends, and a couple of my friends joined with me, and then we started Kolapasi. So easiest way is to approach your friends and family, but you need to have a very strong conviction about it. You have to be extremely strong. You should have already built your reputation in some other field. That means you should have worked well in some company, or you should have done something pretty interesting or something worthwhile that people know that, okay, if this guy is asking money, that means this guy is very serious. So a lot of people, we don't build a reputation and we want our friends and family to invest in us, and that's not going to happen. So I worked in US for 5-6 years. So when I came back, I was able to prove to others that, hey, I'm a serious guy, I'm willing to start a restaurant, and we have a concept, and this concept can click. And that is how people were able to invest in us when we started Kolapasi. So the other ways of raising investment is you can meet a lot of angel investors. So angel investors are somebody who would come in and support an existing venture. Let's assume you've been running for 6 months to 1 year and you have very good numbers and you want to expand. You can go and ask some angel investors. And probably if you're running a business for 5-6 years and you already taken angel investment, the next step would be to go to venture capitalist. Probably there are a lot of examples in India. A lot of restaurants have raised money through venture capitalists, and that's a second way of raising money. So I have 7 advices, not advices probably, 7 suggestions to people who want to become entrepreneurs. First one, be good at whatever you do. If you're a student, I would want you to first study well, get extremely good marks, make sure that your parents are happy, make sure that your professors and lecturers in college are happy, and if they expect 80% from you, make it 85, get 90. Right? If you're working in your company, do the best. Whatever you do at your company, make sure that you are doing excellent, because excellence is a habit. You cannot slack at your work and then expect yourself to come and do extremely great in your business. Like you cannot just slack in your college and just expect yourself to come and do great in business. Make sure whatever you do, you excel at it, because excellence is a habit. That's point number one. Point number two, be ready to make mistakes. Welcome to the new world where you will become successful only if you make mistakes. So I say this, if you want to become awesome, you will have to be awkward. Without passing the awkward phase, you will never be awesome. Just imagine you take anything you became good at. Maybe playing cricket or maybe riding a bicycle. Initially, the first time when you rode a bicycle, what happened? You fell down. It was so awkward, everybody laughed at you. But what did you do? You did not stop there. Yes, you know you're going to fall down. You stood up, you shrugged off, and then again you rode your bicycle. That is exactly what will happen in your entrepreneurship journey. You will have to be awkward for you to become awesome.